Hi guys, it's Jen here and welcome to Jen's Wild About Art. So today I'm going to do a watercolour and coloured pencil picture of a kangaroo and her joey. So I'm drawing it in with my mechanical pencil just to get the basic outline correct. We have these guys, I live on a farm, but we have these guys living in our back paddocks. We've got mountains behind our house, so they go up to the mountains at night and then they come down at dawn or dusk and just eat the green grass in our paddocks. So quite often, or most days, we'll see these guys out the back. So this is an eastern grey. So we have different types of kangaroo, like we have the red kangaroo, which they can get massive. They can get up to about 7 feet tall, I suppose. You know, you quite often, if you do a search on them, you'll see photographs of a kangaroo standing up tall, and they're taller than people. So yeah, these eastern greys are smaller. So these guys are probably, when they stand up on their tails, probably about 5.5 feet tall, maybe up to 6 feet tall. I have been walking down the road when one of these has decided that I was in its territory, and it stood up and it was taller than me, and I'm 5'6", 5'7". So yeah, and it was taller than me when it stood up and said, "Hey, you're in the wrong place, Jen." Yeah, needless to say, I walked quite fast away. Yeah, they're not generally aggressive, but when they've got young, they're protecting them, so they will stand up and give you a bit of a fright. But yeah, the ones that come into our paddocks are generally, they're used to us, so they're pretty, not tame, but they're pretty friendly. Like, they'll come within a few feet of you, and they're not scared. They know we're not a threat. And quite often you'll see them eating with the horses and eating the horse food. So there'll be a big pile of horses eating the hay, and then a couple of kangaroos in amongst them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going in. I've done the outline with my mechanical pencil, and now I'm doing the watercolour base. I'm finding this is really easy. I'm using for adding colour. Rather than markers, I'm using watercolours. So, because I'm quite confident and I'm used to using watercolours. So I'm using just a mixture of different browns and greys that I've made out of different colours, like ultramarine blue, burnt umber for the darkest browny greys. I used a bit of transparent sienna for the brown on the kangaroo's bodies. Now I'm going in with my coloured pencils. So, and I'm just doing fur texture, and I'm using a mixture of browns. Whoops, and then I knock everything. So I'm using a mixture of browns and greys through his coat. So I'm just following the direction of his fur and taking that, or her fur rather, and taking that all around her body. And I'll be mixing up the colours, like I said, with a few different mixes in amongst. I'm just going over the darkest areas first, popping a little bit of extra detail around her face. So yeah, so now I'm adding a bit of grey and some highlighty bits. Add some grey onto her chest. And then, as you can see, I'm using a mixture of different greys and whites just to mix up the colours a little bit. And I'll go over in a few layers. And I'm using Fabriano paper, but it's the Bristol paper. So I've never used this until yesterday with watercolour, and it actually holds really well. So yeah, I can do a thin base. It doesn't move around like watercolour does on watercolour paper, but that doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy to have it stay where I put it. So I'm not worried about effects of watercolour on this paper, because I'm going to add pencil over the top anyway. But yeah, I'm finding this really incredible. It's really lovely to use. So yeah, I've used it for drawing, like just drawing, but yeah, not for watercolour till yesterday, and it held up really well. So here I go. I'll be using Bristol board a whole lot more because I really love the effect for animals. So now I'm going into her back leg with a brown, and I'm using my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils for this. And they're handling, like, this paper has no tooth whatsoever. It's absolutely glossy and absolutely smooth, and it holds this pencil beautifully. You know, I don't know whether, like, the watercolour didn't give the paper a whole lot of texture. But yeah, it's holding up beautifully to a couple of layers. I wouldn't try and do many more. So now I'm doing the tail fur. The tail's quite dark in comparison to the rest of the body. So I'm adding a brown over the top. I will pop some highlights in towards the end. I'm just getting the whole body filled in and the whole tail filled in. So take that right around, right to the edge. And now I'm going over the top and just blending a little bit. Add a little bit of brown around her pouch, yellow ochre or brown ochre around her pouch and around her arms. And take that anywhere that she's got lighter brown colours. And then a little bit onto the Joey's face. Yeah, the Joeys are just gorgeous. You see them, they'll be sitting in mum's pouch, and then they'll get brave and think, oh, I want to be a grown-up and I want to eat some grass. So they'll flip-flop out of the pouch and walk along in amongst the group. They're just absolutely adorable. So now I'm popping in some white highlights. Just mixing that around here and there and everywhere. And now I'm going in with some more darks around her back leg. Her back leg, she's got quite strong muscles. So I've just drawn in around her muscle lines with a bit more definition. Anyway, I'm just about done. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a great time drawing and painting this for you. I'd love you all to follow, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for my next video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you then. Okay, bye.